could have done better and clean up some of the mistakes that we made. And then obviously you turn the page and your immediate attention goes to DeMarcus Cousins. They beat us 3 times last year, and I think DeMarcus averaged around 36 a game against us. So, we have some bigs that are out, so we have to give our players some help out there tonight. He's a great player. He can hurt you in so many different ways, and we have to be ready for the challenge.
When you say bigs out, is that Arthur and Freed again, or is there other bigs?
No, I'm not sure what. I think Darrell may be able to go. Kenneth, I think, is a lot more doubtful than that. Still waiting final word. But I thought Jokic and Nurkic were terrific last night, and if we can get at least Darrell Arthur back to have one more big body to use against a guy like DeMarcus, we're going to need all those bodies and all those fouls.
Well, what could you have done better last night?
Just a little bit more discipline. You look down the stretch, a couple of blown assignments defensively. We go under on Steph Curry, can't do that. Hits a 3-point shot. A couple of key turnovers. They score off those turnovers. And then late in the game, Gary Harris has a 3 to cut it to 3 points. Misses that. They go down, miss, and Draymond gets a putback for his triple-double. So those are the kind of things, if you want to beat one of the best teams in the NBA, that you can't afford to make, especially in critical times. But I loved who we were last night, and hopefully if we play like that, we'll win a lot of games.
Where would you rank Cousins amongst, let's say, best centers in the league? Where would you rank him?
He's at the top.
He's number one?
He's at the top. You tell me something he can't do. That's how I'd respond. And I don't say that just because I coached him for a year and a half and have a relationship with him, but his talent is immense. Even on defense, he's a guy that can block shots. He's always one of the league leaders in charges taken. He gives his body up. He can shoot the 38% this year from the 3-point line. Takes around 4 per game. He can score with his back to the basket. He can pass the ball. He can handle it. He is. And you can make an argument for other guys, but I think DeMarcus's abilities are a rare combination of a lot of different things.
Are there things you can do to get him out of his game? You know him better than most.
Cuz he's an emotional player. He's an emotional player, and he's passionate, and he's a competitor. And obviously, we've all seen times when he's kind of lost control of his emotions, and that's never good for him or for his team. And when I was coaching him, teams would make a concerted point, Vic, to start the game and to try to get under his skin, and whatever that may be. Portland did that, and he had 55 on him. So you got to be careful what you wish for.
How much do you play this is a team that we're playing against for the playoff angle to you guys?
There's a lot of games left to be played, and obviously right now they're a half game ahead of us as the 8th seed. So there is something there. There's also something to the effect that we did not beat them this year. They swept us, and Cousins only played in 2 of those games. So it's there, Chris, but it's not our sole focus. This is the next game, and therefore it's the most important game. Obviously, we'll play him 3 more times, and I'm sure as the year goes on, those games will get a little bit more important. But it is definitely mentioned. We put the league standings up all the time, but we're not harping on that going into the game. We're more worried about trying to stop DeMarcus Cousins and try to come out with energy and effort, knowing we got in around 4 o'clock in the morning last night.
Coach, when you talk about Cousins and being emotional, obviously he plays really hard. Would you like to see some more emotion from your team in terms of that going after the prize and wanting to get it at all costs?
Yeah, I think end of the day, myself, our players, you always have to stay true to yourself. If we don't have those kind of fiery, emotional guys, I can't force it on them. Would I love to see that? Sure. But at the same time, as you learn in coaching, is everybody has their own personality. And you respect that, and you hope that within their personality, they can be as great a competitor as they possibly can be, and come out and play with the kind of emotion. Because there's a lot at stake every night. If we want to be a playoff team, we need to bring that energy and fight every single night.
Hey, Coach, some more minutes for Youssef over these last couple games. Just how kind of integral is he to what you guys are doing, especially defensively, and how important is he going to be tonight helping to stop Cousins?
Yeah, well, last night we only had 2 bigs. So obviously there were more minutes for him because it was only he and Nikola. And give Nurk a lot of credit. He played very well for us, both ends of the floor. And then when you're playing against a big guy like DeMarcus Cousins, Yusuf is one of the bigs that we have that can kind of match him from a physicality standpoint. So, Nurk will be important. And, he wasn't playing for a little bit. We're banged up. We've had some injuries. And the opponents we've played, whether it's Towns and Dang, whether it's Okafor or Embiid, rather, because Okafor didn't play, and tonight with Cousins, you throw Nurk out there, and to his credit, he stayed ready, and he's done a good job in the minutes that he's been given.
Kennett's injury, was that just something that popped up after that Philly game or at practice the next day?
Yeah, it was the next day. He just his back was hurting him, and he's been getting treatment around the clock, trying to get back. But obviously, he's had back problems in the past, and we want to be smart with it. You don't want to just throw him back out there and make the injury worse.
Does it look like it could be more than just a couple of games?
No, I don't think so. I think there's a chance he could go tonight. Still waiting final word from our medical staff, so I don't think it's anything of a long-term thing. I think it's more of a day-to-day.
How would you assess where you are right now in your second season here?
Yeah, I think we're progressing. By no means, Katie, are we anywhere where we want to be, close to being where we want to be. But when I look at the fact that we start such a young group, Moutier, Harris, Nikola Jokic are 3 young guys, and I think the greatest challenge that we have is finding a way to develop our young players, but also stay competitive. And that's not an easy thing to do in the NBA. Develop all the young guys that we have. We were young last year, and the fact of the matter is we're younger this year. We drafted 3 more young guys, only one of which gets in the rotation right now, in Jamal Murray. But we had a very disappointing road trip. We came back, we changed our lineup. We're 5-4 since that change, and obviously, hopefully we can get a win tonight and kind of get back in that win column.
How have you maybe altered your changing coaching style, philosophy at all with a young group and style of play, pace, and everything just going into this season with the group you do have?
Yeah, it's funny. I got fired in Sacramento because of a style of play. And, right now I think, you'd say that we're playing a pretty fast brand of basketball. And that speaks to playing to the strength of your roster. That wasn't the strength of our roster in Sacramento to play up and down. Here, we have a group that can get up and down. I think we're like top 5 in pace of play, averaging, in the last 9 games, we're 3rd in offensive efficiency. The challenge for me, Jason, is Jamal Murray needs to play. But now that we have a healthy Gary Harris and a healthy Will Barton, how do I get Jamal the minutes that he needs and deserves? That's my greatest challenge every night. Forget philosophy. I think every good coach is going to coach to the strength of his roster, and that's what I try to do. But as far as balancing and getting our young guys minutes, that right there is a challenge because Gary Harris is a good player, Will Barton's a good player. Jameer Nelson played a lot more than expected early because of all the injuries that we've had and did a good job, so he warrants minutes out there. But as we go along, I'll make sure that I get Jamal out there because we feel he has a chance to be a special player.
Well, one more thing on Kenneth. He's played so many minutes at the 5. I'm wondering if the extra physicality of playing that kind of position, does that have anything to do with, or are you guys worried that might have anything to do with his back?
I'm not. I think that would be reaching a little bit. But there may be something there, Chris. But I don't think he's had that many minutes where he's been matched up against a guy like DeMarcus Cousins. Just big guys where it's just constant pounding. I think he is a tightly wound, explosive athlete, and I think that's where some of his issues may lie. But again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a trainer, and I didn't stay at a Holiday Inn last night. I really don't know what the root cause is. He's out, and looks like he may be out again tonight. And then obviously, hopefully, we can get him back as soon as possible.